Hello and welcome to Sports Talk. I'm your host Phil Hill, and this month our special guest is Bob Reasso, the renowned men's soccer coach for Rutgers University. Bob, welcome to Sports Talk.
Nice to be with you. I like that renowned.
Well, let's be for real, Bob. You have been named the National Coach of the Year in 1990, I believe, 4 times Atlantic 10 Coach of the Year, 4 times Mid-Atlantic Coach of the Year. You've been a general manager for pro soccer. You give time for the Special Olympics, so I consider that renowned.
Appreciate that. It's I consider myself just a very, very lucky man, really. I've been when I first came to Rutgers in 1981, they gave me a job and gave me an opportunity, and the people at Rutgers are wonderful, and so far it's worked really well.
Is this the best time ever to be involved with soccer?
Yeah. This is it. I think that if you're a soccer person, this is an exciting, scintillating time. I mean, everything we have ever dreamt about happening is happening right now. With the World Cup coming, with the prospects of a professional league out on the horizon, it's an opportunity where young kids that are kicking the ball all over the country can actually see their stars and see their dreams maybe come true this summer and into next year.
You mentioned the World Cup, and most people, I don't think, at least Americans, don't realize just how important it is, how big it is. I read somewhere that 3 times as many people who saw the man, viewed the man walking on the moon, saw the 1990 World Cup. That's more than 1 billion people.
Yeah, the statistics are mind-boggling, but it's the world game. I mean, you know, I think sometimes in America we're very jaded. You know, we call ourselves the World Series and the Super Bowl, but it's only, you know, within our own country that goes on. I mean, this is the game where when there's a big game on television, the World Cup final comes, every nation in the world will just about stop. Okay, they call it football. All football fans in the world will be around a TV or will be, you know, in bars and restaurants watching the game, having you know, final parties like they do for Super Bowl. This is it, and it's exciting. I'll tell you, people like Charlie Stiltano, our venue director, his assistant Nelson Rodriguez, and Jackie Blair, and all the people up at our venue are busy as heck right now. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into putting this kind of an operation on. There are 52 games played. The whole world is coming to America in the summer. And I think after the World Cup, I mean, after this summer, people in America will have a better idea of really what soccer is all about.
I see. My understanding from my sources is that you've had some involvement in the World Cup coming to the metropolitan area. I better say New Jersey. There seems.
Yeah, you bet there's a big bug going on right now.
But I understand that you certainly were influential in I guess, trying to see that it comes to Giant Stadium.
Well, I think it was almost a foregone conclusion that FIFA, which is the world governing body, and Alan Rothenberg and the World Cup Organizing Committee wanted to have a venue in New York and New Jersey. Okay, the best stadium was Giant Stadium. It's in New Jersey, of course. So we considered the New Jersey, New York venue. For a while, I served underneath Charlie Stiltano as a competition director, helping him set up, you know, all the practice facilities and entertaining the coaches and the teams when they came in. I'm not going to do that. They're going to have somebody else do it on the rest of the World Cup, so I'll be involved in other aspects. But there's been so many people involved from grassroots level all the way to Alan Rothenberg to make this dream of having it come to New Jersey. George Zoffinger, the head of our host committee, has done so much to make it come. Governor Florio, former Governor Florio, all were very instrumental in bringing the games to New Jersey.
I see. You must be feeling a little ambivalent right now. Hot off the wire service last night, as a matter of fact, Corey Hunter, your all Mid-Atlantic, all Atlantic 10 goalkeeper, broke his leg, quite frankly, and will be out for the coming season.
Yeah, it's a tragedy, actually. Corey is the epitome of what a student athlete's supposed to be. He's 3.9 grade point average, Phi Beta Kappa, academic All-American, was rated the top goalkeeper in our region. Going into next year, probably considered one of the top 3 goalkeepers in America. This is a kid who has a 35-inch vertical jump. I mean, he's got everything you could possibly ask for. Tremendous hands, and unfortunately, he has an incredible threshold of pain. He'd been complaining every once in a while about shin splints, but really never going into the training room, so I guess they never bothered him enough. And then one day he was playing basketball, a little pickup game of basketball, and he came down a little awkwardly, and he got a compound fracture of his left leg. And when they x-rayed he said he had the same pain in his right leg. They x-rayed his right leg, and he was playing. He had a stress fracture in that leg also. And stress fractures usually don't show up on x-rays. It takes MRIs to show that up. So basically, in essence, he was running around with 2 broken legs. And they grafted some bone, and they put it on his right shin, too. So he's going to have 2 casts, a cast on each leg for 3 months. So
Sounds like quite a kid, though. He was talking about coming back, when he can be back, talking about doing what he has to do and trying to stay on schedule, so hopefully he can be back next year.
Great
Is that
kid.
possible?
Yeah, great kid. And our trainers, Don Kessler, Eric Breidenbaugh, our own personal trainer for this soccer team, if there's any way for him to come back with Dr. Incremona and our staff at Rutgers and with Corey's courage, I believe he has a shot to come back. They realistically think if everything falls into place, he'll have a shot at being back sometime in October.
Okay, I guess the public really shouldn't cry for Bob Reasso and Rutgers University. Last year you were 17-4-1 for the regular season. You did go to the NCAAs, lost to Hartwick, I believe, a team that you beat early in the year, 2-0. But I also know you recruited 5 All-Staters and an All-American, so things have to look good for your team.
Yes, I think, I mean, we have a tremendous returning group, really bolstered by the fact that Robbie Johnson is going to be academically eligible again. Robbie got caught, unfortunately, by a new NCAA rule, which I'm sure you're aware of. Last year they decided that you could only take, you get 24 semester hours to be eligible. You have to get 75% of those hours during the regular year, which is 18 credits. You can only take 6 credits during the summer, okay? And college athletes for years have been taking credits, 9 and 12 credits during the summer to become eligible. He had a little bit of a personal problem near the end of the semester, failed some exams, and wound up needing 9 credits, so he was automatically ineligible. Any other year, he could have gotten himself eligible. Well, he had a great first semester. He got 18 credits. He's doing well now, and he was our leading scorer for 2 years, and could be the best athlete at Rutgers University. You know, he's a 2-time wrestling state champion from Jackson High School, 6'8" high jumper, on and on. So add him back to the fold of what we have. A great recruiting class. You know, we should be pretty good. We have a very, very difficult schedule, as we always have, and you never know about injuries. But I think our whole program, our whole team, everybody involved in our soccer family is very excited about the season.
Let's say briefly, who are some of those recruits?
Well, I think now that they've signed, I guess I legally can talk about them. I guess Ian Cecchio is probably the glamour recruit from the group. He is Parade All-American from Radnor High School in Pennsylvania, Notre Dame, Penn State. Everybody else was in on him. We got him. Eddie Wysocki from CBA, you know, a first-team All-State and All-Region goalkeeper. Jason Kinnick from Cherry Hill East. Stephen Knoll from Colorado. You know, on and on. We got a great group coming in, and we're, you know, like I said, very, very excited about it.
Why can Bob Reasso do such a great job recruiting when other teams at Rutgers haven't fared as well? I mean, you talk about the fabulous Robbie Johnson, Alexi Lallis, and Peter Vermis, and people such as that. How have you been able to attract such players to Rutgers?
I don't know. First of all, it's a lot of hard work, and you know, we're going into our 14th season, so we've had to, you know, establish a relationship with the high school and club coaches, and I think our job's a little easier because we're not competing against television. Okay, in football and basketball, you compete against television, you know, and I think now the Atlantic 10 basketball conference is on television a lot, but that wasn't always the case. You know, if a soccer parent wants to see their child play either men's or women's soccer, you know, they pretty much got to go to the game. You know, so they have a tendency to stay more regionally, okay, and to be in that area. So we've been able to, you know, capture the imagination of the New Jersey fan. We draw very well, and let's face it, this is, you know, besides East Brunswick itself, New Jersey's one of the greatest hotbeds in the country for soccer. We have it's one of the hardest places to coach and play because everybody in the stands knows the game. We have some of the most knowledgeable fans, but it's also one of the best places to play. We draw great crowds, very enthusiastic crowds. So, and you know, we don't have a bad product to sell. You know, Rutgers University is a great university. You know, Money Magazine just rated us the 4th best buy in the country for the money, and you know, you know, I think a soccer student athlete, not that they're a better student athlete than football and basketball, but you find that, you know, academics really, really counts, you know, because they've got to go out. Again, we have 10 guys playing professional ball right now that have played for us in the last 4 or 5 years, but, you know, they've got to come out and think about getting a job afterwards. So, you know, if it's a choice between Rutgers and a school that's not on the same academic level, but, you know, maybe plays in a more prestigious conference, they're going to come to Rutgers because of the academics.
I believe that, but isn't it also a case of success breeding success? I mean, I think all of us remember 1990 when Rutgers was rated #1 in the nation in the NCAA finals against UCLA. Overtime, is this painful to you?
Yes, it's very painful.
Overtime.
You can stop any time before I start crying. No.
Overtime, you lost in a shootout, but just the epitome of greatness for as high as you can go.
Well, it's all about winning. I mean, you know, no matter what we do, especially in America, you know, it's all about winning, and we win. You know, we're very, very competitive. Our players, I mean, we work extremely hard. We're very focused. I get great kids, and we want to win. And I think that's why I think we've tapped the mentality of this area, like in East Brunswick, New Jersey. I mean, it's about winning, you know. And there's a saying around here, you know, Frank Sinatra song: "If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere." That's, you know, right. So hopefully we're getting it done. So.
Ronald Yorsak Field certainly doesn't hurt the program neither. Just a great facility. You want to tell us a little bit about it? Yeah,
it's probably one of the top 5 soccer lacrosse facilities in the country right now. It's 5,000 seats, beautiful grass surface, 75 by 120. It'll be shared by men's and women's soccer and men's and women's lacrosse. The lights are from Philips. Philips, which people aren't really that aware of in this country, Philips is a World Cup sponsor and is the preeminent lighting company in the world. Okay, so they own PSV Eindhoven, one of the top Dutch soccer teams. They own a stadium, and their new lights, Arena Vision, are the finest lights in the world. Well, for us, fortunately, their USA headquarters is by the Somerset Marriott. Okay, so they wanted a facility nearby, so those lights are up in our stadium, and I mean, when you turn the lights on at night, it's like a professional ballpark. So it's going to be a great venue for soccer fans to come see us play. We're finally off the AstroTurf. You know, we hate AstroTurf, but we played there so people could see us play. You know, if we're bringing UCLA in or we're playing Seton Hall in a night game, you play them in the afternoon, you may draw, you know, 500 to 1,000 people. You play them at night, you're going to go 3 to 4. So you want to give your fans the best opportunity to see you play.
I see. You mentioned East Brunswick earlier, and I know you have a relationship with East Brunswick Soccer Club. Will you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's a great club. Of course, my administrative assistant, Suzanne Kelly, who really runs my office and keeps me in line, her husband, John Kelly, and the whole family are very much involved with East Brunswick. They got the tie-in with the club. We're doing a lot of clinics for them, and you know, they'll come out to our games. They'll play it at youth games at halftime. We invite their players to come in for free. I know I walked into their board meeting the other night and did about an hour training session with them, or tactical session with them. It's very, very enjoyable. It's a great club. They really care about their soccer. So, and it's a natural. We're so close to each other. We might as well, you know, utilize each other's experience and expertise.
East Brunswick certainly considers itself one of the hotbeds in New Jersey for soccer, and I think that's a fact. How does it rate? You go around the country recruiting. How does this area rate as far as overall soccer?
Well, I think New Jersey athletes first. With our ethnic background that we have, they bring a lot of flair to the game. Again, it's a very competitive environment, like I said before, so they bring a lot of flair to the game. Not that we're knocking places like St. Louis in California, but you know, it just breeds a competitive athlete. And East Brunswick, I think their organizational structure has been far superior to a lot of clubs over the years. So I think their high school coaches do a great job, their club coaches do a great job, and as you said before, success begat success. You know, so they've got this machine rolling now. So we hope it keeps rolling, because it definitely helps us.
You've been very successful in the Atlantic 10, going 9-0 last year. I know for the other sports, they talk about joining the Big East, and it's going to be a boon for basketball and great for football. But I got to feel that you're bringing something to the table to the Big East by bringing Rutgers soccer there.
I think so. I think in some of the other sports, and I'm very happy for it, because, you know, Bobby Wenzel's a good friend, and, you know, we really root for them and all. I think the Big East is going to, you know, finally give them the umbrella that they need to recruit and catch up a little bit. And I think once they do that, they get better athletes. They're going to be very, very successful. For us, you know, There's St. John's, there's Seton Hall, there's Boston College, there's Connecticut, very, very fine soccer programs already. We're adding, we're adding to that. We're bringing in a major Northeast and national soccer power to the conference. So we're adding to the prestige. I would say right now, behind the Atlantic Coast Conference, with our presence in the conference, I think the Big East will be, the second best conference in the country. And, as time goes on, hopefully we'll be competitive enough with those great natural rivalries to be the best conference in the country.
We know there are a few East Brunswick players on the team. I think certainly Vic Tatara. Last year, I think he had 3 game-winning goals. Yeah. Will certainly be a valuable part of your team. And is there anyone else?
Well, Ryan Daly is going to try and make a comeback. Unfortunately, Ryan broke his leg in preseason camp last year, and that kept him out of all last season. He's rehabilitating. He's going to try and make a comeback in the fall. Vic is, like you said, Vic is the kind of player that can win big ball games for you. He's a great kid. He comes from a great family, and he can score goals. And I'm very thankful for that.
Okay, we were talking about Alexei earlier. I read in the papers that he was suspended for a game for the upcoming
Serious tackle.
World Cup, but you like him. You say he's just a wonderful
Alexei is a classic example of what you see is what you get. I mean, there's nothing phony about Alexei. He's a tremendously talented person, not only as a soccer player and an athlete, but as a musician. He was an English major at Rutgers. He writes his own music. He can make a living at singing. His group, the Gypsies, when he was here at Rutgers, played all the trendy clubs in the village. A very unique person, a dear friend, and he right now is a megastar, and I'm really delighted for him.
Peter Vermes is another name that comes to mind, another great Rutgers player that has gone on. He, like Alexei, he was a part of the U.S. Olympic team and the national team as well. Where's he now?
Well, Peter actually was one of the first players, really American players, to play professional ball overseas. He played in the first division in Hungary, played the first division in Holland, second division in Spain. He really only came back to the country to sign on full-time with the national team because his wife was going to have a child and he wanted the baby to be born in the country. He signed on right now full-time with the national team at Mission Viejo. He was struggling with a back injury for about 6 to 8 months, and they finally operated on it about 2 months ago, and his play has, I talked to Steve Sampson, the assistant coach out there, in the last 2 months he's playing 50% better than he was before he got the operation. The question now is, will he gain fitness enough and form enough to be involved in the World Cup party? He only has about another month to really prove it, so it's going to be tough for him, but he's played in Italian 90 with the MLS coming next year. I mean, I'm sure he's going to play a lot more professional ball in his career.
We were talking a little bit earlier about young kids playing soccer. You had some interesting comments. I mentioned my 11-year-old plays soccer, but he switches to football when the season comes around. And I think there's something you might want to say to parents who may have the dilemma. Of course, you're a little biased.
I'm definitely biased.
But what's your feelings?
Well, I believe in sports. I love all sports. I mean, I follow the Knicks and Rangers and the Giants and everything. As we were saying earlier, though, I think the dream that a young American boy can play professional football, professional basketball, professional baseball in this country is almost drifting away. It's becoming like a real elitist sport because you have to be so big to play the sport. If you're the average American male and you're 5'11", 175 pounds, which I think the average American male would be right now, your chances of playing pro football, if you're not a D-back, you have very few chances of playing. If Muggsy Bogues is one of the few players that are under 6 foot, in the NBA playing. And I was checking with a couple of my friends in the office. We looked at 10 40-man rosters in baseball and maybe found about 10 players under 6 foot and no pitchers under 6 foot. So as everything else, all the athletes are getting bigger and stronger. And I think it's a misnomer where people think, my son's going to be a professional baseball player. If you're 5'11", 175 pounds, your son's probably going to be the same thing. It's not knocking any other sports, and maybe, I don't think any parent should live that way, live that dream that, my son's going to be a pro, but too many people do. The one nice thing about soccer, and I think people are going to understand the passion and the intensity and the athleticism of soccer and the fury that goes on in the game is, hey, you can be 5'11" and 175 pounds and be a great athlete, and be a great soccer player. That's something you really can't do in a lot of American sports right now. And I guess I have to add to that, and I listen to Mike and the Mad Dog on FAN as everybody else does on the way home. I think people have to stop looking at soccer as it's a foreign sport. It is not a foreign sport. Too many people bash our sport as it's a foreign. It's just another sport in the country now.
I see.
You know, there are more kids playing soccer than Little League Baseball. It's an American sport now, and it's just a sport that we're growing up on. And if people can turn on to, you know, bobsledding and ice skating in Norway, they should be able to turn on to soccer.
Bob, how long have you been coaching at Rutgers?
I'm going into my 14th season, so
14th.
it's been a while. It's gone by very quickly.
That's tremendous. I have your record here, and correct me if I'm wrong, 186 wins, 57 losses, and 27 ties.
I think that's right. I have to ask my sports information director really to stay on top of things close.
Well, I mean, we pointed out what your success has been in soccer, and not only are you known nationally, but internationally as well. Can we expect to have you around?
I hope so. This is my home. You know, I'm a New Jersey boy. You know, my wife and I live in Millstone Township, and you know, we have 2 children. And you know, I love New Jersey. I love Rutgers University. I think you always got to look around and see what your options are, and I think everybody does that. I don't think anybody, if they worked for IBM, if you know, if Apple Computer or Macintosh called them, or you know, they'd always listen. So you know, you always have your eyes open, but. You know, it would have to be something unbelievable to take me away from Rutgers. I'm really comfortable there. You know, right now it's one of the best jobs in the country. You know, the new conference, the new stadium, the great academic institutions, and I love going to work every day. So it'd have to be something really special, I think.
Okay. What about this year's team? Can we talk a little bit about what we can expect?
Well, I think that the last couple of years we've taken, unfortunately, we've taken a lot of injuries. In '89 and '90, when we made our runs to the Final Four, except for Alexi's appendicitis, we stayed pretty healthy. Now, in the 2 succeeding years after that, we lost Pedro Lopes and Jeff Zorn, 2 of our best players, and we had a very young team the next year, and we struggled. Last year, even though we were 17-5-1, we played without Robbie Johnson, we played without Andreas Meyer, who didn't come back to school, and pretty much played without Jeff Zorn. You know, you don't get 85 scholarships in soccer, so if you take away 3 of your best players, I mean, it really puts a dent in your team. What we're hoping now is we've built up a strong enough squad that, you know, we can, you know, absorb some injuries better than we have the last 2 years and still be able to move on. You know, college soccer is such a compact season. You know, you play so many games in such a short period of time that, I mean, if you get an injury to a player and you lose him for 2 weeks, I mean, he could miss 5, 6, 7 matches. So. I think we have the depth now. I think we have a very balanced squad. Misi Amani Dove, an under-23 national team player. Alan Brannigan, who's a freshman, and Todd Donnell, they both went with the under-23 national team. Mike Shaw has been with the under-18s and going with the under-20s. Hopefully we can replace Corey, or Corey gets healthy. Robbie Johnson, Rocky Cerzella, you know, on and on. We've got a team that, you know, a lot of these boys have played as freshmen 2 years ago and had, you know, a rude awakening Division I because we started 8 freshmen that year. Last year they were better as sophomores. You know, now they're a veteran squad. And I know there's a sense about them, there's a sense of confidence and pride, and they feel very excited about the season. And I think we can springboard into a really, really good year.
What are they doing to prepare for this season? You talked about injuries hurting you in the past. I mean, are you setting up a special program to?
Well, we're always very, very fit. I mean, it's not, you can't really protect against injuries. We do the best we can. Mike Johansson, our strength coach over at Rutgers, does a great job. We lift during the season, we lift after games, not so much to try and, you know, make them massive, but, you know, more so for injury prevention, you know, because what happens during the season is you lose musculature from all the running. You know, they might run 5 or 6 miles during a match and win all the heavy training. So, you know, we lift during the season. Our trainers are, you know, we feel are the best as far as bringing people back from injuries. Our guys go through a very rigorous training program during the summer where they have to build up their cardiovascular strength and then their anaerobic and their aerobic power. So it's they'll come into camp very, very fit. I mean, they have to run 3 miles under 18 minutes when they come into camp. So if they can do that, they'll be fit. So.
When does the season open?
Well, we'll come into training camp on August 18th. We have a very arduous first week. We'll open up our new stadium for soccer on September 4th, a Sunday, against West Virginia. There's negotiations going on right now, a Road to Davison show, which would be on Sports Channel America, where we will fly to Davison, the site of the national championship, and play South Carolina in the first regular season game on the Road to Davison show. Every Wednesday they're going to have 2 top 20 teams square off down in Davison, North Carolina, which is a very unique idea. We then fly to Vegas and play Washington and Vegas. So, you know, the first week we're jumping right in the cauldron. But again, I think we have a squad that can get it done. So.
Sounds interesting. I know you're doing a little extracurricular work as well for USA Today. Could you tell us about that?
Well, I'm going to, during the World Cup for the Giant Stadium venue, I'm going to be one of the 2 coaches that are rating players during the game. So if Roberto Baggio has a bad game for Italy, I'll be giving him a bad grade, and all my Italian friends will be speaking to me afterwards. No, but it's going to be fun for me. I get a chance to, I get a media credential, I get a pass. I'm going to be able to, talk about other coaches and go to all the press conferences and maybe look at it from the other side, because that usually happens to me after games. And then, I'll get a chance to really study the game, which is what I want to do anyway, and then evaluate players and give them a rating, and it'll appear in USA Today the next day. So it's something different. I haven't done it before, and it should be exciting.
That sounds exciting. Can we really realistically expect you back in the NCAAs this year?
I would hope so. Yeah, I think we went back. We went there this year without a full loaded deck. I think we should. If we don't make the NCAAs, we'll be very disappointed. I think we just felt this forum at Rutgers, evaluating what our goals are every year, and for our soccer program, our goals really never change. I mean, we want to be the best team in our conference, win the Atlantic 10 championship. Every tournament we go into, MetLife, our MetLife or somebody else's, we want to win it. And we want to get into the NCAA tournament, and we want to win a national championship. No Rutgers athletic team has ever won a NCAA Division I athletic championship, and that's been our goal. For a while, we've come close, and I think ourselves and everybody in our program has a burning desire to get it done. So,
okay. I want to reiterate, you are renowned, Bob Reasso.
I appreciate it.
And we've been very pleased to have you here in East Brunswick. And I'm sure I speak for all of East Brunswick when I say you're certainly welcome to come back and join us again.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.
Okay. So, for Bob Reasso and Channel 8 Sports, I'm Phil Hill saying join us next time.